involved? Should the FBI get involved?
Well, they may have to. They may have to. No, I know they want him back. Not only the Attorney General, the governor wants him back. If you look, I mean,
Well, this is actually happening. The FBI has officially approved the request from Texas to track down the Democrats who fled the state in order to avoid a redistricting vote.
I am standing here with one of my faves right here, honey.
Yes.
Listen, and guess what? Neither one of us are in Texas. You know why? Because we know that it is time to stand up, rise up, and fight back.
That's right, these Texas Democrats are still fighting back outside of Texas. Nobody has returned. So we have a lot to cover now that the FBI has officially signed off and approved the request to help out Texas. Now, before we start the video, make sure to please like the video. It's the #1 way you guys are helping this channel, but it also helps others see the videos as well. And I think people want to see what's going on with these Democrats being tracked down by the FBI.
Not only gonna punch you back, but we are gonna knock you out.
We are ready to fight fire with fire. No butter knife to the gunfight. We are ready to bring the fire, bring the heat.
This is not the Democratic Party of your grandfather, right? Which would bring a pencil to a knife fight. We're bringing a knife to a knife fight.
This is an all-out war, and everything is on the table.
That's right, everything is on the table. But as you could hear, for a lot of these Democrats, they are using aggressive language and harsh language to let Texas know they're not backing down. They are comparing this situation to an all-out war. Okay, so what exactly can the FBI do? What are they going to do as of right now? Well, all we know is this. The FBI currently will not and cannot arrest these Democrats because there's been no federal law broken as of right now. So, the full extent as of what the FBI can do really is locate and track these Democrats and give that information to Texas so that Texas can at least know the whereabouts of where their representatives are.
The fight's in Texas. And Democrats took a private plane to Chicago, checked into the hotel, ordered room service, and FaceTimed CNN from their foxhole 1,000 miles away.
Real quick, before we continue, make sure to please subscribe to my channel so you don't miss anything about this story. It's rapidly developing and I want to make sure you don't miss a thing. Let's continue. Okay, so I don't think people realize how much money these representatives don't make. They make $7,200 per year base salary. They can make up to a max of about $45,000 a year. Regardless of all of that, being able to afford a private jet, hanging out in a hotel room, possibly getting these $500 fines a day, who is paying for that? A lot of these representatives do have outside jobs, but the question that Texas has, are we talking about bribery here?
That opens up several opportunities. One, bribery in Texas is a felony. Felony is the type of offense that we can issue papers to have these Democrats brought back. Another thing, though, that the Democrats don't seem to know, and that is taking or receiving a payment like they have to escape or not take a vote subjects them to forfeiture of their seat.
So we talked about this in my last video, but now things are a little different because the FBI is involved. Texas is doing whatever they can to get these Democrats back in Texas. But if nothing is found wrong as far as breaking federal law, like there was no bribery, the FBI still has to be involved because we're talking about over 50 Democrats have fled the state, and Texas has to use a lot of their resources to figure out where all of these representatives are. And the FBI, they have the resources and the federal jurisdiction to get that job done.
But after Democrats crossed state lines, they said they're not actually on the run.
You know, the press, y'all been getting something wrong. I've been seeing a lot of headlines that say that these Texas legislators are fleeing. These Texas legislators ain't fleeing. These Texas legislators are fighting.
Yeah. If you are the governor of Texas and you're hearing your Democrats say, this is a war, this is a fight, of course you are going to call upon the FBI to make sure you get a little bit of help in tracking down these Democrats who are showing a lot of resistance. There's like no indication they are coming back anytime soon.
I actually don't hate Senator Cornyn at all. And right now, what we have is a senator who actually is a real Republican who's doing everything that he can to make it seem like he's a MAGA Republican so that he can get through his primary. But Senator Cornyn, this is not him. This is somebody that sat on our Supreme Court in the state of Texas. This is somebody who typically works in a very bipartisan way, unlike Senator Cruz.
Now, according to Jasmine Crockett, this is all symbolic. The FBI really can't do anything. But like I highlighted before, it's still very crucial for the FBI to at least be aware or help out Texas because there are a lot of Democrats who fled the state and it's hard to track all of them. But number two, if you're wondering why Jasmine Crockett is so involved with this whole Texas thing, basically Jasmine Crockett's district will extend. You can see the dotted red lines will be the new proposed district, which means Jasmine Crockett could lose her seat since with the new district and the extension, she will have to go out, campaign, and hope these new residents like Jasmine Crockett.
By including illegal aliens. Remember, they sued Donald Trump. They sued the administration. They fought tooth and nail to include illegal aliens in the census. 20 to 30 of House Democrat seats wouldn't exist but for illegal aliens. Texas is taking just a small corrective step against this ocean of fraud, this ocean of abuse by the corrupt Democrat Party, Sean.
So, to the Trump administration, this is bigger than just Texas. This is the whole United States. In fact, Donald Trump just made this order as I'm making this video. I have instructed our Department of Commerce to immediately begin work on a new and highly accurate census based on modern day facts and figures, and importantly, using the results and information gained from the presidential election of 2024. People who are in our country illegally will not be counted in the census. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And again, according to Stephen Miller of the Trump administration, he is calculating or predicting around 30 seats in Congress would not belong to Democrats if the census only involved legal Americans, or if they were to redraw the maps in what Donald Trump is proposing and ordering. So leave your comments down below how you feel about this.
The Democrats have gerrymandered this country beyond recognition. Republicans won in the biggest blue states, about 40% of the vote in the last election. States like California and New York, according to the official tally, but only got 20% of the votes. I'm talking about the House Republicans here. In 2024, House Republicans won a 3-time larger popular vote margin than in 2010. In 2010, they picked up 63 seats. In 2024, 4 seats, even though they won, again, a 3-time larger victory in the popular vote margin, House Republicans. At every level of this country, Illinois, Chicago, New York, Massachusetts, Democrats have gerrymandered the vote beyond recognition.
What's very interesting about all of this, nothing that Texas wants to do is illegal. In fact, I can't really find where Democrats are arguing this. Democrats are more just pointing out this is all political, Republicans shouldn't be doing this, and it's more of an emotional argument, not so much a legal argument, because they can't argue legality. It is legal. Okay, so this is Brian Harrison. He is a Republican from Texas, a state representative. He's been giving us updates every single day as to what exactly has been done against these Democrats. There's been a lot of threats. There's supposed to be fines, but he's going to show us that, again, nothing has really been done. Here's the most recent update.
Hey, howdy neighbors, Brian Harrison here, coming to you from the floor of the House. I'll let you see what it looks around the chamber. We gavelled in, didn't have a quorum, gavelled out, 7 seconds later. Here's the reality, guys. This is another day of the quorum break, and unfortunately, another day with exactly zero consequences for these Democrats who have fled the state. We haven't so much as taken away their parking space. Okay, forget anything serious. There's been no charges filed. There have been no arrests. There have been no Democrats had their chairmanships stripped away from them. Yes, Democrats are chairmen in the Texas House. We've had no seniority dropped. Okay, literally nothing serious. We've got the elected Republican leadership in the state of Texas delivering a lot, like a limitless amount of sternly worded statements and social media posts and threats. Strong language is great. You know what's better? Strong action. The Texans that I work for want these Democrats to be punished. They want them to be arrested. They want them to be brought back here to get about the people's business. So I'm sorry it's another bad update, but it's an honor to fight for you here in the great state of Texas. We'll keep you posted. God bless y'all. God bless Texas.
I want to remind everyone, again, the warrants have been signed off, the fines are ready to go, the FBI is on board with helping out Greg Abbott and Texas. But what's very interesting about the Texas situation, this seems to be a broader issue for the Republican Party. One of the top comments in my comment section on YouTube is, why does nothing ever happen to Democrats who cross the line?
This is somebody who is literally doing everything that he can to hopefully get some of that MAGA base. And so Senator Cornyn knows that the FBI can't get involved and ain't gonna get involved as it relates to some little civil situation that was signed off on by the Speaker of the Texas House. But the MAGA base won't know that.
Even Jasmine Crockett is not worried about the FBI getting involved. She's even saying it's just a civil case, who cares? You know, for the everyday American, I would assume a lot of us would care for civil cases or being fined or losing our job. Again, it's rather interesting. The Republicans have the power right now to perform these civil case warrants or at least do something about what's happening in Texas, but nothing is being done, and the Democrats don't even seem to care either way.
Good morning. I am State Representative and Missouri Democratic Floor Leader Ashley Awney. I'm from Kansas City, and I am here because I stand firmly with the representatives in Texas and the senators in Texas who had to flee their state Good morning.
Now, I don't know if you heard that, but in the background, there were Democrats saying, hey, we didn't flee, really like mumbling under their breath. This is not the greatest look for Democrats because, again, what they ran away from is not illegal. They just don't like what's happening. And by the way, this was posted by Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas.
Well, it's messaging, but it's not reality. The census is a very complicated process that takes 10 years to do. Remember, this involves knocking on the door of every home in America or getting a document back from every home in America in order to draw these lines. I mean, I think the White House was also implying, which is accurate, that Texas is a rapidly growing state. We will gain several more seats. We've got 38 today. We will probably be at 41, 42 seats after the next redistricting that happens, after the next census occurs.
Now, I did not get any indication that Donald Trump wants this to all be done by 2026, but what it does look like is that Donald Trump is opening up the conversation, or at least being one of the first presidents to call out there might be a flaw in how the census is being calculated or created as of today. Again, leave your comments down below how you feel about this. As we know from both parties, sometimes what we say or do is highly symbolic, but to achieve what Donald Trump does want achieved eventually, you're about to hear why it's going to be very complicated
in 2030. But look, that's conversation. That's not reality. There's no way that between now and the 26th election that you could conduct another census, be accurate in the outcome, hand the numbers over to the states, go through the process of writing a plan, have it approved by the states, have it approved by the courts, implement it, recruit candidates, have them run campaigns and get elected. It is way too short a time frame for that to happen. It's hard enough when you have when this happens in the first year after the census is conducted, for example, in 2021 for the last time, in order to be ready for the 2022 election. It takes all of those nearly 2 years to get it done. There's no way that it can get done, in my opinion, between now and the 2026 election.
And by the way, there's a whole other issue we are not talking about. Homeland Security has their own issues with going into sanctuary states and cities, trying to figure out who's a legal citizen and not legal citizen. Could you imagine a census personnel walking up to your door and knocking on it and trying to figure out who you are? That's a whole other issue we're not even covering right now.
As we're talking right now, Texas Department of Public Safety officers are on the streets looking for those Democrat House members to arrest them and to take them to the Texas Capitol and hold them there until a quorum is reached.
All right, and then, and that may, I'm not sure how many, can you tell me how many different representatives that we're talking about are in the state of Texas? I believe you're 6 short right now of a quorum. Would that number bring you to a quorum?
So that's a fact that we don't know yet. We don't know which Democrats remain in the state who are not yet identified. We don't know exactly how many are out of state, but know this also well, and that is the Texas Department of Public Safety is also working with officials in other states to find ways in which we can try to arrest the Texas Democrat members in other states and bring them back to the state of Texas.
That was from a day ago. I played that clip in my last video, but it's still relevant. Greg Abbott still has his law enforcement on the street of Texas looking for these Democrats. Again, I can't get accurate information myself to figure out where everybody is. This is why the FBI was called to help and get some more assets as far as at least tracking where these members of government are who are supposed to be at work in Texas. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for being here. This is a developing story, so make sure to please subscribe to my channel so you don't miss anything. God bless, and we'll see you all later.